Welcome back to our how-to video series. As you can see, we're already out here. We're flying the drone, we've already launched it, and we're just waiting for it to finish up the mission, and then we're gonna complete our successful recovery. So all we gotta do really is we're sitting here, we're monitoring our controller, having it ready to access if we need it, and we're also watching the progress of the drone on our iPad and making sure that it's doing, tracking to the waypoints we told it to and stuff like that. So now we're pulling up on our last leg here, and one thing we're gonna wanna make sure is that it's gonna do our final calibration step, where it's gonna fly forward to the very end of the mission, it's gonna fly back to a waypoint, and it's gonna fly to the end of the mission again, and it'll start our return to home. So once we've started our return to home, we're just gonna be keeping an eye on it, making sure there's nothing in the way of here and there, that it's not descending ahead of time or anything like that. There's two ways you can do that, visually tracking it, and also looking at our altitude and Q ground control to see where we're at. Says, it's coming in, and once it lands, all we're gonna do is it's gonna shut off the motors and turn off. We'll turn off our controller to initiate our radio failsafe to not let it rearm or anything, and then we'll go up, we'll approach it, and we'll unplug it. Alrighty, we're out here wrapping the mission up. We're about to bring it back onto the ground, and all we're doing now is we're just watching it fly. We're on our last leg here, so we should see here pretty soon. It's gonna get to the end of the leg, and it's gonna come back to a calibration point, and it's gonna proceed back to the end of the leg and come on back to us. So we're watching the calibration point right now, and it's right at the end, and here it comes home. So now we're just watching, making sure that it's tracking back to us, staying at its altitude. And there's two ways to do that. You can do it by looking at Q ground control and seeing if the altitude is right on there, or you can just visually keep an eye on it and make sure it's not, descending or ascending. So now we're locked into spot, and we're going ahead and descending right down onto our previous takeoff point. And at any point, you can switch this switch all the way down into loiter mode right here, and that'll stop everything the drone's doing. It'll just sit there and hover. One of the times this is really useful is if it's really windy and it picked up after you launched it, and it's really gusty right when you're trying to land, you can switch it to loiter, wait for the gust to calm down, and then switch it back to return to launch. There we have it. That's a successful recovery. Just gonna wait for the motors to stop spinning. Then we can turn off our transmitter. What this does is it initiates our radio failsafe so that the vehicle can't arm again. And now we'll just walk out and unplug it. Now at this point, you might be wanting to swap the batteries for another mission, or in our case, we're gonna unplug it and pack it up. So there's our how-to video on how to complete a successful launch. Next up, you're gonna wanna go over to our data processing video to how to get the data off your drone and make it usable for you. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day.